let's talk specifically about the shake a paw trick.
Right. Okay.
So shake a paw is usually one of the first tricks that we will start with our young puppies because it's an easy one to teach.
Right.
It's usually pretty easy to get them to the point where they're going, okay, you know what? Here,
Right.
take my paw.
Yes.
Take my paw. Take my paw. And all you're going to do to get there. So if you were to lure shake a paw, what would that look like?
I would have the puppy sitting in front of me, so I'd lure them into a sit. And then what I would do is I would take the treat just above their nose and I'd lure it off on an angle, kind of up in the air, kind of beyond their shoulder.
Picture the dog like stretching.
So the puppy says, I want that treat. So they got to stretch. And as they stretch, the opposite leg is going to come up just to kind of give them a bit more balance. The moment I see the paw move, yes, and I'm going to take it in my other hand and reward.
Yeah, absolutely. And very quickly, dogs figure out, oh, you know what? I lift this paw and I get a reward. Hey, how about that?
Right.
And this is them with early learning systems, figuring out how to give us what we're looking for and figuring out how to think and how to learn and how to offer. You know, I think it's amazing that our dogs are so adept at learning and figuring out the things that we want to do because they don't even necessarily know that they're supposed to be learning. Like I always compare it to us going to school, and we go to school and we sit in, did go to school and sit in desks, and we had a quiet environment to work in or a collective environment to work in. Like we were set up for optimal learning. And we knew that we were there to learn.
Right.
You know, on some level, you knew that. Our dogs don't even necessarily know that.
No.
So to get that interest in things that we're doing, sometimes we need to be creative and we need to have some fun. And we need to make it rewarding for the dogs. So this is a perfect way of getting started with your young puppies. So if I were to... if I were to use other methods to teach a shake a paw, so if, for example, I was using capturing, I would have to wait for the dog to offer that naturally, which some dogs do.
Some dogs do,
absolutely.
yes.
Some dogs are very pawy. Actually, I have a picture of the first moment I met Reggie, way back when, and he was very pawy his entire life. And the very first second I met him, my sister snapped a picture, and it's me with this look on my face that you can just tell I'm just so overjoyed to meet this puppy. I had to drive down to Virginia Beach to pick him up because he was from a breeder.
Oh, he was a beach bum.
He was a beach bum. So I drove down and got out of the car and walked up, and she basically had this puppy in her hands. And the picture is of me with this glorious smile on my face, like huge.
You need to show me this picture.
His paw touching me in the middle, like he just basically reached out and said hello with his paw. And he just did that
I think he
naturally
was
his
reaching
whole
out
life.
going, no, Shannon, stop.
No, this can't be my fate. It can't be my fate. I think he was giving me a high five there. No, but truly, he was a very pawy dog.
He was trying to kick you.
I could have captured, probably, boot, get out of here. I could have captured the shake a paw, the high five with him very easily. Some dogs aren't pawy like that. So you might not be able to do the capturing thing, or it might take you a lot longer. You can shape through these things as well, but it's something that's really, it's more conducive for luring.
For luring, yes.
And this is what's nice about having different methods of training. I'm not a purist at all. Are you a purist?
No.
I use anything and everything.
I have no loyalties.
I thought you were loyal to me.
Other than you, Shannon.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and like... the methods that we use to teach our dogs can range so much, but it's so important to be able to tap into different tools. You know, that old saying, if every problem you have is a nail, if the only tool you have is a hammer, you better hope every problem is a nail. That's it. That's better.
I've never heard that saying.
It's a great saying, and it's so true.
Right.
You know, stack your toolbox with as much as you can. Learn about all the different learning methods because some learning is conducive to some specific behaviors and other learning is more conducive to other behaviors. And if you have the best of all worlds, you're never going to come up short when it comes to teaching something to your dog.
Yeah. And every dog learns differently. Like some dogs learn very well by capturing. Other dogs struggle with it more. So you need to teach train the dog in front of you.
Yes.
So, know that no one cookie cutter is going to work for every single dog.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is just fact. That's just the way it goes. The more you know, the more you can help, the more you can train it, the more you can break it down.
You're never done learning in dog training.
Never. Oh
never.
My gosh,
never.
No.
There's always something to learn.
And thank goodness for that.
Yes.
Like I love the mental stimulation of learning new stuff. I love hitting on new things and being like, that's so cool. I wish I had known that. You know, how many years ago.
Imagine how boring it would be to know everything.
Oh.
It would be boring.
Well,
it's exciting to learn. It's motivating and exciting.
One day I will know. Yeah,
You'll know.
It is. It truly is.
Yes.
Truly, truly
like
is.
Discovering something new is just so much fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. It's mentally stimulating.
Right.
It doesn't matter how old we get. We want to keep learning.
Right.
It's important too.
Right. So, and
it's
dog,
really a
dog
skill.
training is perfect for that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We can always tell the students who are still learning when they come into class, the students who are used to, you know, upgrading their education or their work or whatever the case may be, versus the students who have sort of stagnated in learning, because learning itself is a skill. It really is. So keep learning, even if it's something really little and outside the box.
Right.
Keep learning. Dog training's great, but anything that you can learn with is going to serve you very well. So when it comes to that shake a paw, the shake a paw is a great trick because it has so many other tricks that we can tack onto it. We call it the 3-in-1. So what's the second trick you would pull out of a shake a paw?
You could do a wave.
You could do a wave.
Yeah. Oh, but actually the easiest one to go then is a high five.
Yes.
So for the shake a paw, my palm is up. For the high five, I make the high five shape.
Yes.
Then it can also turn into a wave.
Yep.
And it can also turn into sore paw. I used to say to Cowboy, is your paw sore? And she'd hold up her leg, even though her paw wasn't sore. But, poor Cowboy is a sore paw.
Yeah.
It was just, I remember my son used to do that constantly. I think that was his favorite trick that she did, was show her sore paw.
Yeah. Reggie would have a very high wave. Like, it was just adorable. He would throw it way up there.
He's a keener.
When I say to Ned wave, he basically just does sore paw. He like lifts his foot just about this much off the ground. And then it was so adorable that I just started rewarding that. So that became
he's much cooler about it. He's not a nerd.
Oh, he's a coolie. He's a cool guy.
He's a cool dude. Whereas Reggie... Nerd.
No, it's the other way around. Ned's such a nerd. Reggie was too. Oh, man. Anyways, so shake a paw turns to high five, turns to wave. So you've got 3 tricks in one there.
And sore.
And
sore paw.
Oh, right. Sore
4.
paw.
It's 4.
You could also do cross your feet. You could do, like, there's so many things that we can do with paws. I actually have taught cross your feet. We have a cross your feet workshop. If anybody is interested in that, on our online site, if you go to McCannDogs.com, you can check out all the workshops that we have available.
Nancy used be a lady. She
be
says,
a lady.
Be a lady. And her dog crosses her paws. Yeah, very, very, very queen-like.
Very demure.
Yes. Yes.
Very, very. So what else can you think about in terms of practical application for that shake a paw trick?
Well, your dog's used to offering a paw, so they can offer the paw to dry it off on these muddy days. Right now in Southern Ontario, we are living in a mud pit.
We are.
Now, it's supposed to change today. We're supposed to start getting freezing weather, but there's a lot of paw wiping that's going on all over Southern Ontario.
Oh my goodness, isn't that a fact?
Right, yes.
So much. So I mean, that comes in handy, right? So we actually just talked about nail trims, handling feet, and how important that is for our overall dog's health. So here's another way of saying me touching your feet is a really positive thing, right? And it can be used for, I can take a towel and I can say shake, and then I can use that towel to sort of rub my dog's feet.
Right. Yeah. And
that's gonna be great.
One time I was on a walk with Cowboy, and she stepped on a sucker, like on a lollipop.
Oh.
That was covered in ants in a sticky, gooey summer mess. And I had to remove ants, sticky sucker, and all off her feet. And it was really gross. So I was so glad that she wasn't panicked about getting her foot touched.
Yeah.
So no more dropping lollipops on the ground, kids.
No more lollipops.
Yeah,
down.
or spitting gum out too. That could land it on your feet too.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, but it's so practical. And like checking for burrs or
ticks.
Yeah, ticks.
Or
ticks
little
are a big one.
I remember Cowboy had webbed feet, not webbed like a Newfoundland, but a different type of webbing. The breed's bred to run on sand, so they had a little bit of a different foot construction between her pads, I found. And she used to get like gravel or grit often caught in there too, and it would cut up her feet. Oh. So if I had been like in a gritty type surface, I would often open up her toes, spread them, and just use my finger to brush out all the grit that was caught in those webs.
And I bet that was something that made her feel better after the fact.
Definitely.
So definitely appreciated. Yeah, it's never a mistake to help your dog understand that you handling them is a good thing.